Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, An Indian Girl's Journey. I'm a third year internal medicine resident in the United States and an incoming allergy immunology fellow. I know it's been a while since I made videos here. Sorry about that. What can I say? Life got in the way. But I'm happy to be back, and my first video is going to be about how I matched into allergy and immunology fellowship. For those of you who don't know much about Allergy and Immunology Fellowship, it's a 2 to 3 year long fellowship that you can apply to if you're internal medicine, pediatrics, or med peds trained. It's a great field. You get to treat both adult and pediatric patients, irrespective of where your background is from. The pathologies are quite interesting. You get to manage allergic and immunologic disorders and immunodeficiencies, which is quite fun in my opinion. But then I might be biased because that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. It is predominantly outpatient based and is one of the lifestyle specialties that you can pursue after internal medicine residency. But above all, I really enjoy the various pathologies that I would get to manage. When I first got interested in allergy and immunology in my intern year, I was very intimidated at the prospect of applying and not matching because of what I had heard about how competitive it is for IMGs. In fact, many people, IMGs themselves told me, like, if you don't have a green card and you're going to apply, forget about matching, be okay with not matching and stuff like that. So going in, I was very anxious that I might not match, but I just really wanted to give it my best shot and try my best to somehow match because I knew that that's what I wanted for myself. The fellowship itself is not as competitive as cardiology and gastroenterology in terms of the match rate, but what makes it challenging, particularly for IMGs, is the fact that there are relatively more AMGs applying into it. I believe more than 70 to 80% of the applicants are usually AMGs, and the number of spots each year is like 140 to 150. So, among the few people who are actually interested in the field, it gets pretty competitive because cardiology and GI has like more than 1,000 spots. I don't know the exact number, but a lot more spots available. So that makes it a bit tricky. Allergy and immunology is actually a very small field, so you would be surprised to see that almost everyone knows each other. So, finding a mentor becomes really important. Somebody who you can work with on various projects, somebody who can vouch for you, who can call programs, and who can write you a strong letter of recommendation. And I was really fortunate with regards to this because I met my mentor during my intern year and I worked with her on several projects, and she was one of the most amazing and supportive people I've ever met. And she herself reached out to certain programs for me, and she wrote me a very strong letter of recommendation. I mean, I never read it, but that's what I got to hear from various people during my fellowship application. Creating a CV that's catered towards allergy and immunology fellowship is extremely important, in my opinion. So, it's important to be able to show things you have done in the field that proves that you're genuinely and passionately interested. This may be a little challenging because you don't come across interesting allergy and immunology cases during your floor or ICU rotations as you would come across cardiology cases. So you will have to go out of your way to find these interesting projects and case reports that you can write up. AI is a research focused field. There are people who go into the industry or go into academic positions where they are conducting research projects after finishing their allergy and immunology fellowship. And being a physician investigator is a big part of this field. Of course, you could always go into private practice and not do much of research, but it's definitely something you would need to have on your CV when you apply. And the amount of research may not be as much as you would need to have in cardiology or gastroenterology, but definitely few projects would be necessary. And I think even if your projects don't get published by the time you apply, at least having an idea or something you're working on to discuss during the interview season is extremely important. Attending the various national level conferences in the field of allergy and immunology is a great way of showcasing your interest in the field. There are two main conferences that come to mind. One is the American College of Asthma, Allergy and Immunology, and second is the Quad AI conference. And there are various travel grants available for residents who are interested in the field to explore this field further, and all you have to do is submit an application and an abstract in time for the application deadline. Allergists in general are known to be very nice people to talk to, so this would be also a great opportunity for you to network, meet the current program directors or the fellows, and learn more about programs. I also presented some posters at other conferences like the local state level ACP and some other local conferences around my program, and that was also something that I could add on to my CV. An away elective is another way of showing your interest in the field and is something that was extremely appreciated by my interviewers during my application season. I feel that there are two ways to go about it. Either you can do an away elective at a place where you actually stand a chance to match, or you can do an away elective at a place that's really out of your league but will look great on your CV. However, you choose to do it, it is something I highly recommend that you do because allergy and immunology is a very niche specialty and you most likely won't get great exposure to the field within your program, especially if you're in a community program. Letters of recommendation are an integral part of our application when it comes to residency or fellowship. And when it comes to allergy and immunology fellowship, I highly recommend that you have at least 1 to 2 letters from allergists in the field. This is extremely important in my opinion. So, my first letter was from my mentor, which was my strongest letter from what I've heard. The second letter was from an attending at the place where I did my away elective, who was an allergist too. The third letter was from my program director, whom I have worked with on floors, who was able to kind of talk about my inpatient work experience. And my fourth letter was from my clinic attending, who was able to talk about how I was to work with in the continuity clinic that I work at. So, all in all, I feel that my letters were very variable and talked about me in various aspects of medicine, which I thought was very helpful. And the last but not the least important thing would be the personal statement. I wrote a personal statement myself that was about why I love the field of allergy and immunology and why I think I would be a great fit and about what I want to do in the future within the field. So that was also a way of making my CV more wholesome and cohesive and sensible. In my opinion, personal statement may not help in most cases, but in some cases it can help, and in some cases it can really hurt you if you write a very bad personal statement. So it's definitely not something you want to take lightly, in my opinion. And these are all the things that helped me match into an allergy immunology fellowship. I applied to around 70 programs. I got around 17 interviews. I attended 15 of them and I matched into my first choice. I was told by many people that I might not match as an IMG, but taking that chance on myself and working really hard towards it, despite what others told me, is what got me to this point, and that's what I would highly recommend that you do as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section, or you can reach out to me on Instagram or email me. All of the information will be under this video. That's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful and liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any other recommendations for future videos, please let me know as well. In the meantime, have a nice day and take care.